It is exactly 4 o'clock East African time. Good evening and welcome to News Now right here on TV 47. I am George Maringa, very delighted that you've joined us right here on your home of untold stories. Today, we continue to keep a spot check on week 3 of the protests that are occurring across the country in various parts of the country, even as we monitor what's happening, especially within Nairobi, outside Nairobi and other parts as well. We invite your feedback at TV47 News on X, formerly Twitter. Personally, I'm at George Maringa _ across all the socials. We invite you, of course, to channel your feedback, questions, as well as comments regarding the program and what we are covering today and what especially is happening in your areas through SMS as well to 22047. Our teams of experienced journalists and committed videographers as well will continue to keep you up to date with what's happening from across the country and beyond. And just to mention, our very own Mboya William and Rin Kilemi, Sheila Chelangat and others will be joining us from across the country as we continue to monitor what's happening from across the country, the CBD as well as other parts of the nation. We begin at this hour with right here in CBD as we continue to monitor what's happening. We've been seeing activity as well throughout the day, especially as crowds continued to gather, even as police continued to lob tear gas on protesters. We've seen and heard reports of what's happening from across various parts, but for now we want to look at what is happening, especially here in County 047, Nairobi City County, with our very own Mboya William, who is joining us from Nairobi CBD. Mboya, good afternoon, if you can hear me. We've seen what's happening, especially on this week 3 of the protest, today being first day of week 3 of this protest. Perhaps if you could tell us what's happening from wherever you are. Even as we continue to monitor what's happening with Mboya William, wherever Mboya William is, we shall also be looking and linking up with Sheila Chelangat. Remember, even as the headlines today have put President William Ruto between a rock and a hard place, especially after that interview, that round table, our very own Sheila Chelangat is also within CBD, within Nairobi. Sheila Chelangat, good afternoon. How are you and how is activity wherever you are?
All right. Good afternoon, George Maringa. We are coming to you live from the Central Business District in Nairobi. Particularly where we are is the Mboya Avenue, the famous Mboya Avenue, and it has come to a standstill, George. Protesters gathering and crowds are forming as they just try to protest against the Finance Bill 2024, the anti-government protests. Now, what you can see behind me is that businesses have been closed for a better part of the day. The whole day, businesses have been closed, and every particular time that crowds try to form, the police do lob tear gas canisters against them. We have seen heavy police presence from the anti-riot police and covering all areas from archives towards Kencom, Kenyatta Avenue, and particularly Mboya Avenue. A lot of presence around the Imenti House as well as Naivas supermarket that are just on this particular road. Police ensuring that the protesters do not get there, the rowdy protesters do not get there, as you know, the business owners as well do try to protect whatever is theirs. As you can see is that all these businesses would have been open at this particular time. All these people would have been at work at this particular time, but now Nairobi City looks more of a ghost town, with some of those who are trying to at least get a little bit of an earning today, being the border riders who are ferrying people. What you can see right now is just crowds that are trying to form, but they are being dispersed by the anti-riot police. We have seen protesters engaging in cat and mouse games with the police. However, they have been managed, and we will continue to bring to you live what is happening happening in Nairobi City. But as of now, we have seen calm at a majority in majority parts of the CBD, just the Mboya Avenue as well as Mboya Street that had a little bit of chaos during earlier on in the day. But for now, it's calm. And back to you in studio, George Maringa.
So much, Sheila, for that update as she continues to monitor what's happening in CBD. As you heard, she is in Mboya Avenue right here in County 047, that is Nairobi City County. On the other side as well is Moige William, who is also on standby with an update. Good afternoon, Moige. How are you? Have there been any incidents in your area so far?
Good afternoon, George. It's been a dramatic day here in the capital city, that is the Central Business District. We are joining you from Mboya Street, just a few meters from where my colleague Sheila is on standby. But here, what you're seeing behind me, it has been quite a dramatic day and turn of events, just as I had mentioned earlier. What you can see are stones, tear gas canisters. That has been the event that has taken place here. It was just an exchange of stones from protesters and demonstrators and police throwing back tear gas canister. But on my right currently are anti-riot police who are on standby here at Mboya. This is Latema Street, which really coordinates, really hosts a number of matatus plying along the Thika Road. And anti-riot police, right now, let's say it's a time out or a take 5 for them as they assess the situation and also try to control the situation within Mboya Street. Earlier on, it has been quite a dramatic scene. I mean, clouds of tear gas really dominating this particular area. And on my left side is, this is also Mboya Street, where business is picking pace. You can see people already taking note. It is already 4 p.m. and people are coming out of their workplaces and they're trying to access their different homes. So matatus are back within the Central Business District and ready to ferry people who are in need or want to go back to their respective homes. So, Maringa, that has been the situation for the better part of the day. You know, the usual cat and mouse chase between the police and the protesters, throwing of stones and throwing of tear gas by police just to contain and also to bring back normalcy of this situation. Such has been the situation, but for now, things are calm. Normalcy is returning within Mboya Street, which has been quite a hell of a place for the better part of the day since early in the morning. But now we can tell, or rather, we can report normalcy has returned. But before I take it back to you, Maringa, one unique thing that we have noticed within this place, especially within Luthuli Avenue and also here at Mboya, is remember in the previous protest we have been reporting, or rather cases of insecurity have been recorded whereby we witness looting. But today it has been a different scenario whereby business owners have decided to take matters just a notch higher by protecting their businesses. We did see, or rather we did witness business people with the buttons protecting their business. Just if my colleague Gashanja could pan to our right, we can see police engaging a number of residents here, some of whom we can see they're handling batons in their hands. These are just but some of the business owners I was informing you earlier decided to secure their businesses and to avoid any looting. And even on that far end on the right, you can see the security guards who are manning an entrance to a business center with batons just to ensure no looting happens today. That has been the case earlier on, but calm has returned for now. And the police are on standby and to teeth with anti-riot gear just to ensure everything is in order. That is all we can report for now, but we are all hands on deck, boots on ground, to ensure that we give our viewer a blow-to-blow coverage of the events that are taking place here within the Central Business District of Nairobi. Maringa.
Did Mboya William is at Mboya Street for us there. Thank you so much for that update, even as you continue to monitor what is happening from across the country as well. We've heard from Sheila Chelangat, who is at Moi Avenue, and Mboya William, who is at Mboya Street, even as we continue to also monitor what's happening on the other side of Nairobi CBD. Our very own Andrin Kilemi is on Accra Road. Remember, these are places that earlier on, or rather in the previous weeks, have been chaos, have been, stages and areas that have witnessed a lot of demonstrations, especially anti-government demonstrations, even as this enters week 3 today. Andrin Kilemi is ready for us on Accra Road. Good afternoon, Andrin. How are you? How is the situation on your end?
Good afternoon, George Maringa, although I could say it's not a very good afternoon right here at the Central Business District, as it has witnessed a beehive of activities. The days began quite smoothly, but took a dramatic turn when protesters now began entering into the Central Business District. Some who had come to demonstrate peacefully, and others who had come to demonstrate and to loot. And now, as you can see, where I am standing right now is between Mboya Street and this is Accra Road. Usually, this place would be quite busy, as people would be coming here to board matatus to go back home. But now the various stages are empty. You can see people are just loitering around. Others are just wishing that vehicles would just come around so that they could go back home. Earlier we spoke to parents who were rushing their kids home after the midterm, and they were quite worried, saying that it's a very bad situation that this country at this particular time and when their kids are supposed to go back to school. Security is beefed up right here at the Central Business District, although right now things are calm, I would say, because earlier protesters were engaging police officers quite fiercely in what now seems to have turned from anti-finance bill protests to now anti-government protests. I think now I'll be speaking to a few business operators right here at the Central Business District, Maringa, to just tell us how these demonstrations that have now entered week 3 have affected them. Habari yako?
Nzuri.
Wewe ni mwendeshaji wa bodaboda. Haya maandamano yamekuathiri vipi?
Imeharibu biashara sana. Naomba tu Ruto, kama inawezekana, ikitu apeleke kwa bunge, ipitishwe kama watu wanaona, ndio hii maandamano iishe.
Na hali imekuwa vipi leo katikati mwa jiji la Nairobi? Awali najua kwamba wale waandamanaji walikuwa wanakabiliwa na maafisa wa polisi. Siku ya leo kwa mfano, umeweza kufanya kazi kwa kiwango kipi?
Imekuwa chini sana. Kazi kwa leo imekuwa chini zaidi kabisa, mpaka hakuna mapato kabisa, labda mafuta tu na chakula tu kidogo hivi.
Wito wako kwa serikali ni gani?
Ruto aitane huko mbunge haraka hii maneno iishe. Awede hiyo vitu ipitishwe kama raia wanaona. Kila mtu aone imepitishwa, imegeuzwa penye raia wanataka, kwa sababu tulimchagua na yeye ndiye kiongozi wetu. Wakienda mbunge watoe hiyo vitu yote yenye nakataza raia wanakataa. Hiyo ni sawa, Kenya itaenda mbele. Manake hapa ni kurudisha Kenya nyuma sana.
Asante sana. George, you've heard it right from the horse's mouth that indeed their businesses have been disrupted. So far, so good. Most shops are closed here at Mboya Accra Road. Last time, business operators incurred a lot of losses, and so today they were a bit careful not to open their businesses. Some had opened earlier in the morning when things were smooth, but as things took a dramatic turn, then they opted to shut down their businesses. So we are keeping an eye on anything that could happen in between now and later in the evening, and definitely we will be keeping our viewers up to date with each and everything that happens right here from the Central Business District. Maringa?
So much, Andrin Kilemi. Of course, following on what is happening, especially on Accra Road, earlier on, Moige William was at Mboya Street, Sheila Chilangat was on Mboya Avenue and away from the Central Business District. We want to take you to Nakuru County, where our very own Chichi Josephine will be joining us via way of phone. Good afternoon, Chichi. A lot has been happening, has been witnessed, especially across the social media platforms. We've seen activity here and there in terms of, the protests as they enter week 3 of this. I wonder, what do you have to report from Nakuru County?
Maringa, very good afternoon to you. And indeed, I'm coming live to you from Nakuru County. And it was an ugly day for the Nakurians because we started, or rather, the protesters got into the streets to demonstrate against the government today. But remember that, as usual, some rowdy crowd of, or rather, some rowdy youth joined the protesters, and it was quite ugly because we witnessed some police officers, of course, having to fire tear gas to the protesters. But no one could really identify who are the real protesters on the court, who are the rowdy youth. Who are some allegations have it that they were paid to come to the streets, of course, to demonstrate, or rather to interfere with the demonstrations that were ongoing. But of course, to tell you is that as of right now, Maringa, Nakuru town is calm and nothing is going on. But some few minutes ago, like 30 minutes ago, we witnessed some, of course, police officers firing tear gas to the protesters, who I have told you we did not really identify whether they were real protesters, because today it was quite different. Last time during the demonstrations, we could see some protesters, of course, wearing, or rather being in black, or rather some of them being in white. But understand that today it was quite different. We really could not tell who are the real protesters and who are the rowdy crowd who had come in to interfere with the protests that were prepared in Nakuru. But we had seen also, for the ones who had come to the streets early in the morning, we saw them dancing on the road. And of course, some of them could hardly insult at the president and carried a banner, or rather banners with pictures of the 3 individuals killed during last week's anti-finance bill protest. And at various points, the demonstrators, some were waving at the Kenyan flag and some sang the national anthem. But clearly what I could tell Maringa is that today it was a little bit ugly compared to the very first protests that were witnessed in this particular city. But as I right now, like I've told you, it's quite calm in Nakuru County and especially in Nakuru town. And but of course understand that we have heavy police presence in different counties, or rather in different places of this very city, and more especially where we have seen, or rather just around the county assembly of Nakuru, and of course the Nakuru State House Lounge, and of course the Nakuru headquarters where the office of the governor is. The main places that have been manned quite well, and the security there has been built up quite well. So that is all in Maringa. But just to tell you that Nakuru for now is quite calm, and we are just waiting to see what can really transpire, because Gen Z in Nakuru, you really cannot predict what can happen the next minute. But we are here, and of course I am still going around to see the situation around the city. And of course, in case of anything, Maringa, I will definitely come live on air and of course tell our viewers what will be happening. But as for now, Maringa, we have quite a calm city, or rather a calm town here in Nakuru. Allow me to keep an eye on this, Maringa, even as you give us more details on what is happening in different parts of the country. Over to you, Maringa. My name is Chichi Josephine.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chichi Josephine. Our eyes and ears in Nakuru County as she continues to monitor what's happening there. Now, away from that, let's take you to the neighboring county, or rather to Uasin Gishu County, where a heavy presence of anti-riot police has been observed in Eldoret town, with many businesses at a standstill due to the anticipated anti-government protests. A group of Gen Zs has urged the government to prioritize development over politics, condemning last week's events as tribal politics. So far, no protests have been observed in Eldoret. Our Uasin Gishu reporter Joseph Kabuthi tells us more.
Na asante studio, na niko katikati mwa mji wa Eldoret leo, na tumeweza kushuhudia, kama mpiga picha wangu atakuonyesha, tumeweza kushuhudia kwamba barabara huu uliokuwa na magari mengi huwa inakuwa na magari mengi, hii leo hayana, na tumeweza kuona kwamba wafanya biashara wengi wameweza kuhofia kufungua biashara zao, wakihofia maandamano yaliyofanyika wiki iliyopita irudiliwe hii leo. Lakini katika mji huu leo tumeona ya kwamba idadi ya wale polisi wanaopiga doria ni wengi. Wameweza kupita, wanapita katika barabarani mote, wanapita wanaangalia hali ilivyo katika mji, lakini maandamano katika mji huu haujaanza. Na ninao vijana katika kaunti hii, labda waweze tu kuongea nami kwa majina, tueleze tu mbona leo hamna maandamano katika mji huu?
Kwa majina ni Vincent Murunga, na jinsi wanavyotazama hapa ni mji wa Eldoret. Kwa leo hatuwezi sema kwa nini hakuja kuwa na maandamano, kwa sababu mkiangalia jinsi usalama umedhibitiwa leo, na ukikumbuka rais alisema kwamba maandamano ni ya amani. So sijui kwa nini majeshi yamefunga barabara vijana wasiandamane. Sijui kwa nini hadi vijana wanazuiliwa kuandamana. Ukiangalia kaunti zingine kama Nairobi, Nakuru, Kisumu na kwingine, vijana wameruhusiwa kuandamana. So sijui kwa nini vijana wamenyimwa kuandamana. Nadhani kile rais tu anafaa kufanya kushinda na kuzuia wananchi kuandamana, kutumia jeshi, kutumia polisi, ambayo hata kutumia jeshi ni kinyume cha sheria. Angelisikiliza tu Wakenya, hata wachana na Gen Z, Wakenya wote asikilize tu Wakenya wanasema nini, asikilize Wakenya wanataka nini. Tuambiane ukweli wa Mungu. Ukiangalia pale kwa ofisi za gavana, unaangalia kuna baadhi ya wafanyikazi wa hiyo ofisi ya gavana wako na mipini ya jembe. Unajiuliza, huyu mfanyikazi wa gavana ama anafanya kwa ofisi ya gavana, tangu lini akashika mpini wa jembe? Sasa akienda avunje kijana kama huyu, yeye si afisa wa polisi, yeye si jeshi, yeye si nani? Kwa nini kitu kama hicho kifanyike? So mimi ningemwomba rais moja tu, asikilize vijana wanataka nini, asikilize taifa linataka nini. Akipea tu vijana sikio na afanye jinsi vijana wanavyotaka, nadhani maandamano yatasitishwa na nchi itakuwa kwa amani. Lakini akisema atumie jeshi, atumie polisi, atumie njia zote za kutumia, kusema ukweli nchi itapata amani. So bwana rais, wasikilize vijana na nadhani uongozi wako utaenda vizuri.
Asante. Labda tupate mwingine. Wewe ni kijana, labda ombi lako tukaona siasa ni upi?
Kwanza mimi nitoa Kefa, nataka nishukuru kwa chance umenipea. Mimi Kenya tu nataka niambie Ruto ama serikali. Nataka niambie Ruto ukweli, sinaona mazuri kuna yenye anafanya. Basi kuna zingine yenye Wakenya waoni. Kama sasa sukari ilikuwa 200, sasa iko 120. But Kenya wanaona ni ile tu mapads ama hivi vitu ndogo ndogo hivi. Sasa mimi nataka tu niambie Ruto, hii mambo ya kutax wa Kenya, wacha na afanye hivi. Wewe omba tu madeni ikuwe mingi, umalize miaka yako uende. Haina haja maneno mingi ya kusumbua na Kenya juu na tax, juu nini. Wewe fanya tu hivi, wewe omba madeni, usijifanye mzuri. Juu unajifanya mzuri na unajaribia tu wewe mwenyewe. Sasa mimi nataka tufanye hivi, wewe omba madeni hata kama ni mingi, umalize uende. Mwenye ataingia kuja ajipange mwenyewe aone venye atafanya. Alafu tena mimi nataka tena nimwambie Ruto, si yenyewe tumeona unafanya kazi yetu katai. Basi wa Kenya hapa chini kuna sio hata hiyo finance bill kwanza mimi hata sijui nasema nini. But maandamano hapa visi imekuwa. Hapa magari 3 imechoma, si ndio? Marungu leo kweli wamekuja na marungu. Masansi wako pale chini. Lori iko mzima pale chini. Mtu hawezi ingia town ulete kerere saa hii juu maandamano. Mimi na support wa majamaa kwa sababu hapa library hapa visi imechoma. Ofisi ya governor hapo. Kuna kanyumba iko hapo kana si imechoma. Hata hapa sijui kotini hapa si pia imechoma. Sasa mimi nauliza kama gari 3 watu wako innocent imechoma, hata mtu mmoja atakuwa anahusiana na hii maandamano. Mtu tu mmoja kwa shughuli zake, gari yake imechoma. Sasa mtaka kuniambia maandamano amani aje? Nyinyi wenyewe mnaingia mpaka bunge, lakini sasa ile masaa mnapigwa risasi nyinyi mnalia. Na nyinyi wenyewe ndio mnaenda mnavunja bunge, mnachoma bunge. Aje sasa? Simfanye tu maandamano basi, kama ni amani iko tu ya amani, mtumie tu akili. Mbona uchukue mawe upige polisi na sikia ningoambia ngoja kwanza. Unachukua mawe unapiga polisi, si ndio? Lakini hiyo risasi utaki upigwe. Alafu tena wazazi wanashinda wanalia hapa hivi wanatuambia watoto sijui wametekwa nyara, sijui watoto wanaenda wanauliwa. Wewe mtoto wako akitoka kwa nyumba, sio ndio unamwacha aende kwa maandamano? Sasa vitu mtoto wako vizuri. Achana hivi vitu ya maandamano. Maandamano ya Kenya si ya amani. Hii maandamano inakuanga vita tangu. Hata kuanzia kwa mzee huyu jamaa mwenye aliongoza Kenya wa kwanza. Kenyatta mzee. Kwa Kenyatta mzee sikia nikwambie. Kenyatta akianza Maandamano ilikuwa ya vita yote. Sasa mimi nataka tu niwaambie majenzi, msitumike. Mimi nataka niwaambie hivi, msitumike. Hivi vitu wewe mwenyewe ndo utakufa. Bili ya mochari unalipa, lakini umekata finance bill. Mimi nataka tu niwaambie majamaa, nyinyi ni wadogo bana. Usikufe ukiwa 21 ama 22. Ishi maisha yako za watoto wako ukuwe tajiri ukufe.
Asante. Labda tu wa mwisho tuende kueleza. Tumeona ya kwamba mswada wa fedha ule wa 2024-2025 ulitoka. Labda hiyo ni swala la kukosa kwa maandamano katika mji huu wa Eldoret.
Kwa majina, my name is Ian Limo. Na the fact that the government imetoa finance bill 2024 is not enough for us to stop these demonstrations. We want William Samoei Ruto to go home. Yeah. We are fed up with his lies. We are fed up with his gaslighting. Every day we are fed up with the killings. If the finance bill has stopped, why is he continuing with the abductions? We have people who have died. We want everyone who died, everyone who is abducted every single day to be accounted for. This is not a military state. This is a democratic country and we are being ruled by the rule of law. We have every right to demonstrate anywhere in this country. We have every right to demonstrate anytime in this country. And we have to do that if we want to do it. So we are telling the politicians of this place, the people they have hired to be looking around us here, we can't even take photos of the people carrying stones and carrying a lot of sticks. We can't even demonstrate. We are telling them that Eldoret is going to be a city soon. And this city contains all the tribes. Stop ruling us like a village. Yeah. This is not a village and that primitiveness should stop. We are telling William Ruto he must go and he must resign now. Thank you.
Naam, asante. Hayo tu ndo baadhi tu ya maoni tu ya wakazi na vijana katika kaunti hii ya Uasin Gishu. Na labda tuweza kuwazungumza, tuweza kuwaonyesha yale yatakayoendelea katika mji huu baadaye, na tutaweza kuambia katika taarifa zetu za pale baadaye. Kutoka kaunti ya Uasin Gishu, nami ni Joseph Nganga, kwako studio.
Thank you so much, Joseph, for that. A section of residents, of course, in Eldoret town within Uasin Gishu County giving their views, especially on week 3 of the protests, even as KNCHR, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights,